Hello to the people on earth, and shalom alaikum, all my brothers and sisters in Master Yeshua the Messiah, who have his testimony and who guard his commandments, the 10 commandments that were given to Moses. Brother Nicholas James Vanderlane here, Victory for the People of Israel from by the Narrow Path. This video is about how I am the original Noahide and the other Noahides out there that you are liars and deceivers and you are not in the covenant of Noah. You've been deceived by your own pride and by fake Jews who don't even know what the covenant of Noah is here in the book of Jubilees, and I have it. So what you have is you have these ethnic Jewish males right here that are rabbis. They are not biological Israelite males, but they are ethnic Jews. They're not Israelites. They're not genetic Judahites. Okay, I hypothesize that possibly 10% of the males of Jewish males are biological Israelites. But more than likely, most of these are not biological Israelites, these rabbis, and they're trying to get the whole world and all of the true Israelite men, possibly, into their rabbinical I belief of the Noahide. What makes a Noahide a Noahide? They have no clue what they are teaching, and all of these people who've converted to become Noahides are so stupid and dumb and evil and prideful that they've forsaken their Messiah, they've forsaken their Allahim, and they've come under the authority of these rabbis that aren't biological Israelites, more than likely, and who don't even know what the covenant of Noah is. It's absolutely shameful that these people would forsake the truth to go believe lies of the false Noahide belief system. You guys are all blood eaters, and you're in violation of the covenant of Noah because you eat with the blood. You don't eat the flesh according to how it's supposed to be done, according to the covenant of Noah. Today's the 14th day of the 3rd month on Yahweh Allahim's restored, solar calibrated, non-Gregorian 364-day calendar of the book of Jubilees, Dead Sea Scrolls, possibly Enoch, Torah and the Prophets, Psalms, the Gospels, the book of Acts, the book of Revelation. Again, I'm going to be going through Jubilees chapter 6 in this video, and I'm going to give you guys a demonstration that I filmed about a month ago when I was back in Cyprus. Currently, I'm here with my family. They're all gathered around. We're here in Alexandria, Egypt. We're going to be going over Jubilees chapter 6, and I'm going to be explaining to you all this Jubilees chapter 6 is the calendar chapter and is the basis for the 364-day solar calendar. But it is also, to go along with the calendar, it's also the chapter about the covenant of Noah. And I'm going to be explaining to all you heretic Noahides out there who have forsaken faith and obedience in Messiah Yeshua, what the true covenant of Noah is, the one that I've been preaching about for the last 5 years. All right, so this is my playlist on the covenant of Noah. Link in the description. Be sure to watch it all. It was a progression of understanding as I did it. And now I'm going to go ahead and share with you my video that I put together from boiling and seething some flesh of some quail on the island of Cyprus about a month ago. I'm going to give you that demonstration first, and then after that I'm going to take you through Jubilees chapter 6 and prove to you that the rabbis don't know anything. They have no idea what they're talking about, and that the covenant of Noah is in Jubilees chapter 6, as well as I've already will explain is in the Torah. All right, here we go. All right, we're leaving for Egypt. I got one last meal we got according to the covenant of Noah. So here I am in the backyard. The boys are all packing the car, getting ready to go to the airport. It's already starting to boil. I'm looking in this pot. As you see, the blood scum is starting to come up to the top. That's the blood scum that's in the flesh. You got to boil that out. So you have to seethe the flesh, and you want to seethe it from room temperature water. So you want to put the flesh in the room temperature water, and then you bring it to a boil. with the flesh in the pot, in the lukewarm water. You do not want to use boiling water. You don't want to have the water all ready to a boil when you put the flesh in. You want to bring it to a boil. So you want to have your water lukewarm or cold, and then you put the flesh in while it's cold or lukewarm. And then you bring the water to a boil. And as the water is coming to a boil, the blood is starting to release and the scum is starting to release from the flesh. This blood scum comes out of the flesh, and that's how it begins, the process of removing the blood from the flesh. And then what happens is, as it gets boiling to a boil, it'll solidify and then it will drop to the bottom. So there is a transition period. When the water comes to a boil, then what happens is the blood scum here begins to cook from the steam and from the water. The blood scum begins to cook, it solidifies, and then it sinks to the bottom. Also, the blood scum can stick around the ring of the pan right here at the water level and stick to the pot. That's why clay pots had to be broken after a one-time use, because they're no longer sanitary because of the blood scum sticking to the porous clay. And the copper pots had to be scored and fired. Now, I don't have a copper pot. This is a stainless steel pot. But that is the blood scum. Sometimes it'll stick around the side of the pot, but that is the blood scum that we're called to get out of the flesh according to the covenant of Noah. So if you're not eating flesh that has been seethed and boiled, this means that you are eating with the blood, or you are eating flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood. And if you search in your Blue Letter Bible or Concordance, eating with the blood, it will show you that that is the sin that is happening. You are eating flesh with the blood. So I'm going to start here with the Torah right here, Genesis 9:4. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. So the life thereof is the blood thereof. So flesh with the blood, therefore shall ye not eat. Leviticus 19:26. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment nor observe times. So no eating anything with the blood. You're not allowed to eat flesh with the blood. And then in Deuteronomy 12:23, only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, that thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. So again, you're not supposed to eat the flesh with the life, which is the blood. So you're not supposed to eat the flesh with the blood. So there's several ways to word this. And then here in Ezekiel chapter 33:25, this is the watchman's warning. Wherefore say unto them, thus saith Yahweh Elohim, ye eat with the blood, and lift up your eyes toward your idols and shed blood. Shall ye possess the land? So that is a major offense that the people in the land, okay, the fake Jews that are in the land, are going to be judged because they eat with the blood, and that's one of the major offenses why Yahweh is going to destroy them in the land. And then 1 Samuel 14:33, this is a little bit different, but they eat with the blood. They did not sacrifice it and let the blood drain out, it appears, or they just ate it like raw. That's a different circumstance. But right here, the Torah is here, it's eating with the blood, and that's why you have to seethe the flesh. We see in the temple that they're eating their sacrifices, seethed flesh. That's the sacrifices that you're allowed to eat in the temple are seethed, not roasted flesh. Eli's sons were evil. They wanted to eat raw and roasted flesh with the blood. It didn't say with the blood, but of course it's with the blood because they're eating it raw or roasted. The only way to get the blood out is to boiling the flesh using a flesh pot. You have to eat flesh without the blood, and that means you have to boil or seethe out the blood from the flesh. And the way to do that is to use a flesh pot. Remember the Israelites, they complained and murmured about their flesh pots in Egypt. Oh, here's the Israelites murmuring. Exodus chapter 16, verse 3. And the children of Israel said unto them, Would to Allahim we had died by the hand of Yahweh in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. So here you see that the Israelites had flesh pots while in Egypt. Well, that's what this is. They would boil the flesh, and that's exactly how the ancient Egyptians ate their flesh. They seethed it, and there is an Egyptian dish still around, which is from the ancient Egyptians called fatah, which is boiled flesh. So they still have this dish to the day of eating boiled flesh here in Egypt. I'll discuss that later in the video, or maybe make another video, but this is how you cook the flesh so you can have your flesh and eat it without the blood, not eat it with the blood, according to the covenant of Noah. So here I am from Famagusta region of Cyprus. There you have it. We're eating some quail here in Cyprus. Boiled seethed flesh, according to the covenant of Noah. Hallelujah. All right, looks like it's done. Still going pretty hard. You can really just smell all of the flesh out here. It's boiling pretty hard right now. Gonna go ahead and agitate the meat. I got the flesh hook here. What with the scriptures is called a flesh hook. This is okay. So here I am on Blue Letter Bible. This is the word for flesh hook right here. The Hebrew word is mazleg or something like that. It's a three-pronged fork, a sacrificial implement. And you could read about the flesh pot right here that they were called to make. First they were made out of brass, and then later it appears that Solomon had them made out of gold, pure gold. But here in 1 Samuel chapter 2, you could read about the priest. And the priest's custom was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servant came while the flesh was in seething. Okay, so the flesh was seething in water in a pot, and a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand. And he struck it into the pan or kettle or cauldron or pot, and all that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself. So they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came thither. So this is how it was done. The priest got to eat of the sacrifice, and the priest would take a 3-pronged fork, which is called a flesh hook, and he would take it and stick it in, and whatever came up, that's what the priest got. That was the priest's portion of the food that he got to eat, it appears. So that's how it went, and in Shiloh. But Eli's sons, they didn't want seethed flesh. They wanted the flesh raw so they could eat it, likely eat it grilled. They did not want it with fire. They wanted it roasted with fire. They didn't want the seethed flesh. They were in violation of the covenant of Noah. What I use to agitate the meat, it just knocks off the blood scum. You can see the blood scum there, maybe through the steam. But you can it just knocks off the blood scum off the flesh. And it's just agitating the water. When we pour out this water, you're going to see all the blood at the bottom of the pot when we get to that point. Knocking off all the blood scum back into that broth. The angel of Yahweh instructed Gideon to pour out the blood broth. The angel of Yahweh did not consume the blood broth. Here's a video of mine from 4 years ago where I explained that the angel of Yahweh instructed Gideon to pour out the blood broth. The angel of Yahweh would not consume the blood broth. Yet now everybody's talking about bone broth. Oh, it's so healthy for you, this, that, and everything else. But the angel of Yahweh would not consume the blood broth. He had it poured out. Okay? So there's a big delusion going on. I don't know where a lot of you have been. This video only has 2,600 views in 4 years, but I've been here the entire time. Y'all got to get with the program. Eating with the blood is sin, and you're in violation of the covenant of Noah that all the descendants of Shem, Ham, and Japheth have been born into. It is an everlasting covenant between Yahweh Elohim and man. It's time to get to this and share this information with the body of Messiah and the rest of the world and prevent sin. But this is the reason why the earth is going to be judged with fire, is because the earth is in violation of the everlasting covenant, because they are all eating with the blood. Because they want to eat flesh roasted with fire, they're going to be judged with fire. It's just one of the reasons why. All right, so next time we're going to be eating these things. Going to take them out now and let them cool down for about 10 minutes and then eat these and head off to Cairo, Egypt. Okay, so the quail are cooked. They've been seethed in water according to the covenant of Noah. We're going to salt them. Salting up the flesh. Great. Flesh is now salted, but most importantly, got to take care of the blood broth right here and all the blood at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. All right, so pouring out the blood broth right here into the ground, the soil. So that's just, you can see the fat on the top. My son's filming, got my other son here. Okay, gonna slow it down, slow down the pour. And at the end is gonna be all the blood scum. So that's all, look at that. That is all the blood scum. Right there. That's all the blood scum we're not supposed to eat. It's totally all the blood scum according to the covenant of Noah. All right, so the blood scum has been covered according to the covenant of Noah. All right, now it's time to scourge. I got some water in there. I got this loofah right here. I'm going to use a loofah. This is a natural fiber. After scrubbing the pot with the loofah, I will throw the loofah in the fire with the bones. Scrub off all of the blood scum on the side. Get as much off of it as we can off the bottom. And then after I hit it with this loofah, this natural fibers in this stainless steel pot, copper pot is way better. But it's the best we have right now. I tried to buy a copper pot while I was here on Cyprus, couldn't get one. So now I'm gonna go ahead and scrub this down. After I scrub this down, I'm gonna fire this thing up. I will fire the pot to sterilize the pot and to burn off any other remaining blood scum that might have been stuck to the pot, that might be microscopic, that you can't see to the naked eye. So you got to burn it off by firing the pot, and that will go ahead and also sterilize the metal pot for next use. Now, there was two types of pots in the scriptures, okay? You have the copper pot, which is reusable, and then you would have clay pots. And the clay pots are to be broken, so they are only for a one-time use. That's how it's done. All right, so this has been burning. I put this back on the flame. It's been burning. It's burning hot, as you can see. Look at it. All that's all smoke and heat coming off. It smells. All the blood in here has been sanitized. It's been sanitized. And that's how it's done according to the covenant of Noah. Hallelujah. Okay, the sun's setting here in Cyprus. As you can see, sun's over there in the west. And this is the last step of the covenant of Noah. It's just burning all of the bones. Burning all the bones and all the flesh that you don't eat. You got to burn it. It burns off, and that's it. All right, signing off here from Cyprus. Shalom to all my brothers and sisters, Master Yeshua the Messiah, who have the testimony of Messiah Yeshua and guard his commandments and abide by the covenant of Noah. And now it's time for Jubilees chapter 6. So I'm laying down on my back because I injured my SI joint 2 months ago. It came out of alignment, and just 5 days ago it finally went back in. So it is extremely irritated and inflamed. And so I'm here, got my 4-year-old here with me. My family's all over here, and I'm going to be taking you through Jubilees chapter 6. About the calendar chapter, but it is also the covenant of Noah chapter. And as I've been preaching for the last 5 years about my restored covenant of Noah on YouTube, the covenant of Noah has been restored, and it's to only eat flesh that has been seethed and boiled. That's why I am that's why I am a true Noahide, and I am the original Noahide here. and my family is also. And there are other people who have now come into this understanding with this teaching, Hallelujah. So I'll be sharing that with you. So all you other Noahides out there in the earth today, you are all deceivers, you're all prideful and arrogant, you all eat with the blood, just like that's forbidden by the prophets and the Torah. You have no idea what you're even doing or talking about. You're deceived by your foolish rabbis who don't even know what they're talking about when they're talking about Noahide laws. Okay? They have no idea. But it's in Jubilees chapter 6. It's in all of my videos. All right? You guys are all in the violation of the covenant. And important to note, the real Israelites, as we'll read in Jubilees chapter 6, the reason why they got kicked out of the land is because they forsook the covenant of Noah, which is eating with the blood. So that's the truth. And your rabbis out there, they won't even tell you what the morning and evening sacrifice is for. It's to make propitiation for the covenant of Noah that the Israelites went in when they made the covenant on the 15th day of the third month. So yes, they entered into the covenant of the commandments, the 10 commandments, but here at Mount Sinai, they also went into the covenant of Noah, as we will read in Jubilees chapter 6. And that they're supposed to be the examples. The Israelites we're supposed to be the examples to the earth. So there you go. All right, you're supposed to be rulers and priests, but if the priests aren't keeping the covenants, why is the earth? And this is why the earth is going to be judged. When the earth is judged, it's not judged because, oh, there was a 7-year peace plan in the Jewish state of Palestine right now, and Palestine was divided, and that's going to bring the judgment on the earth. That's not the everlasting covenant. Because if you know Bible prophecy and you read Ezekiel chapter 35, chapter 34, chapter 34 and 35, you will read that Edom is in possession of the land at the end. Okay? So this peace treaty thing is not this 7-year peace plan type thing, and that's not the everlasting covenant. The dividing of the land is not the everlasting covenant that brings the judgment on the entire earth. The judgment on the entire earth, it appears to me that it's because they've broken the everlasting covenant of Noah, because all the inhabitants of the earth, it appears, are descendants of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, sons of Noah, and therefore that they were born into, we are all born into the covenant of Noah. We're all supposed to eat our flesh boiled, seethe with water, and pour out the water into the earth according to the covenant of Noah. That's how it's supposed to be done. You're only permitted and allowed and actually instructed to eat flesh roasted with fire only for the Passover, only in Jerusalem. So, where Yahweh put his name. So here it is. Today is June 2nd right now, where I'm at in Alexandria, Egypt. This calendar that you see here is according to the Jerusalem calibrated time zone. All right, so today is the Sabbath day, the solar calibrated Sabbath, the solar Sabbath that I call it. But this year, the Americas, you are at the front, you are at the head of the year. So the Americas, today is actually your Shavuot, your Feast of Weeks. So I'm doing this on your Feast of Weeks, and the Feast of Weeks is a twofold festival. It's called the Feast of Weeks, which is the first fruits of the wheat harvest, which is Shavuot, okay, is also it's also the festival, according to Jubilees, chapter 6, it's also the festival of the covenants. Okay, why? Because this is when the Israelites made a covenant. I'll be taking a look at that in Jubilees chapter 6, getting that insight here and explaining it all to you. So here we are right here. There's a lot going on. Shavuot is a very big day. Look at all of the memorial events that I have documented in the book of Jubilees, in the Torah, in the prophets, of all the events that happened on Shavuot. And no, the Ruach HaKodesh was not given to the disciples at Jerusalem on the Shavuot of the Feast of Weeks, of the wheat harvest. I've already proven that. I believe that to be on the first fruits of new wine. But I'll go ahead, guys, everybody, there's a link to this biblical anniversary spreadsheet. You can read all of these events for yourself. But for this video, I'm going to be looking at Jubilees chapter 6. So here we are. Jubilees chapter 6. And on the new month, that's Rosh Hodesh, not new moon, of the 3rd month, he went forth from the ark, speaking of Noah, and built an altar on that mountain. And, Hallelujah, all praise to Yah, I have taken my family to this mountain. I've been to the mountain of Noah. I have discovered Sedek Telabab, Hallelujah. I was led to, that was Shim's city on the mountain. I'm a co-discoverer of the mountain of Noah, the other person being Ken Griffith. I have several videos on that. So if you haven't seen that, likely you haven't. You're all missing out on so much truth. But I guess that's on you. Not on me, because I've been there and I've been publishing it. And if you watched that video, Hallelujah, thank you for watching. I hope that you're blessed. And he, Noah, made atonement for the earth. I have shown you where I believe likely his altar was on top of the mountain there. And took a kid and made atonement by its blood for all the guilt of the earth. For everything that had been on it had been destroyed, save those that were in the ark with Noah. And he placed the fat thereof on the altar. And he took an ox and a goat and a sheep and kids and salt and a turtle dove and the young dove, and placed burnt sacrifice on the altar, and poured thereon on them, and offered mingled with fire, offering mingled with oil, and sprinkled wine, and strewed frankincense over everything, and caused a goodly savor to arise, acceptable before Yahweh. And Yahweh smelt the goodly savor, and he made a covenant with him that there should not be any more a flood to destroy the earth, that all the days of the earth, seed time and harvest, should never cease. Cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night should not change their order, nor cease forever. And you, increase ye and multiply upon the earth, and become many upon it, and be a blessing upon it. Now, has the descendants of Noah become a blessing on this earth? I'm here on the sea, in the Mediterranean Sea, on the seashore, and all I see is plastics everywhere, not including the microplastics that we can't see in the seas and the oceans. All of the pollution. Mankind has completely polluted this earth, and it cannot sustain itself, and it's a travesty for the sake and love of money. They have done it. They have not been a custodian of the earth. They have cursed the earth, and it's time for mankind to reap their curse. The fear of you and the dread of you I will inspire in everything that is on the earth and in the sea. And behold, I have given unto you all beasts and all winged things, and everything that moves on the earth, and the fishes in the waters, and all the things for food, as the green herbs. I've given you all things to eat. So back to this. Okay, you're supposed to be a blessing upon it. We've cursed the earth, and judgment's going to come, and I'm going to explain why the judgment of the earth is going to come according to Jubilees chapter 6, because they've broken this everlasting covenant, the everlasting covenant of Noah. But flesh with the life thereof, with the blood, ye shall not eat. Okay, what do you not get here? Flesh with, you see this? But flesh with, right there, the life thereof, with the blood. With the blood ye shall not eat. For the life of all flesh is in the blood, lest your blood of your lives be required. At the hand of every man and at the hand of every beast will I require the blood of man. Do you understand that you are all in violation of this covenant because you all eat with the blood? You eat with the blood. But flesh with the blood you shall not eat. You say, oh no, it's slaughtered, the blood's drained out and all that. No. You have to eat your flesh boiled and seethed in water. It's boiled flesh. I have so many videos on it. So all you Noahides out there that are in all you Judaizer Noahides, you guys are so evil and so stupid that you guys, and so prideful, you guys are eating with the blood in violation of the Torah. You might be saying, Nick, this is the book of Jubilees. Well, guess what? It's also in the Torah as well, that you're not supposed to eat with the blood, but your rabbis can't tell you this because they're liars and deceivers. That's why. Okay? Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of Elohim made he man. And you increase ye and multiply on the earth. And Noah and his sons swore that they would not eat any blood that was in any flesh. So how do you get the blood out of flesh? Certainly not by roasting it with fire. Certainly not by frying it in a frying pan. Certainly not by frying it in oil. Certainly not by drying it out in the sun. The only way to get blood out of flesh is to boil it with water, to seethe it, as I have so many videos to try to help you guys out on how to do things biblically. But no one's really hearing my videos. Okay, and he made a covenant. Okay, so look, Noah's sons swore that they would not eat any blood that was in any flesh. That was in, right here, in any flesh. So you have to get it out of the flesh. You do that by boiling it. And he made a covenant before Yahweh Elohim forever. So this is an everlasting covenant throughout all the generations of the earth in this month. On this account, he spake to thee, spake to Moses here, that thou, Moses, shouldest make us a covenant with the children of Israel in this month upon the mountain, Mount Sinai, with an oath, and thou shouldest sprinkle blood upon them because of all of the words of the covenant which Yahweh made with them forever. All right? So, right here, on this account, on the account of the covenant of Noah, the Israelites had the covenant made with them when Moses sprinkled them at Mount Sinai with blood. And this testimony is written concerning you, that you should observe it continually. Okay? So that you should not eat any day any blood of beast or bird or cattle all the days of the earth. Okay, the blood of fish is not on here because fish is a different type of flesh. But beasts or birds or cattle, they're not to eat any of the blood. And the man who eats blood, the blood of beast or of cattle or of birds during all the days of the earth, he and his seed shall be rooted out of the land. That could be the land of Israel or the earth, okay? Now, you are all ignorant of these truths, and Yahweh has winked, Elohim has winked at your ignorance, but eventually it's going to be required of mankind, and a judgment's going to become. Yahweh's going to judge the earth for this reason. And do thou, Moses, this is implied to Moses, command the children of Israel to eat no blood, so that their names and their seed may live before Yahweh or Elohim continually. You are all supposed to be eating boiled flesh. And for this law, the law of not eating any blood, would not eat blood that was in any flesh. Okay? Okay, so for this law, and for this law, the law of the covenant of Noah, there is no limit of days, for it is forever. So in Acts 15, when we see the Council of Jerusalem with Paul present and everybody's there at the Council of Jerusalem, and they want to get a ruling on what the Gentiles should do, the Gentiles were to keep the commandments, the 10 commandments, and the Gentiles were to not eat anything that has been strangled and not eat blood. It means that the authors of Luke the author who recorded that, he hid the fact that that was the covenant of Noah that they were talking about. I have a whole video on that. That Acts 15, the Council of Jerusalem, when they were told to not, the Gentiles were not told to eat blood. It was because they were they were instructed to not eat blood, which means that they're instructed to eat according to the covenant of Noah. They're supposed to only be eating boiled flesh. And this is how they did it back then. They had flesh pots, okay? And you would eat seethed flesh, boiled beef, boiled goat, boiled lamb, and then you would pour out the water. But Luke, he concealed that in Acts 15. He concealed that it was the covenant of Noah that they ruled upon in Acts 15. Why? Because it had to be concealed. For this law, the covenant of Noah, there's no limit of days, for it is forever. If you look at Gideon, the prophet Gideon in the book of Judges, when he presented his offering to the angel of Yahweh, the messenger of Yahweh consumed the flesh with fire by touching with his staff, and the rock consumed the flesh. Fire came out and consumed the flesh. And then for the pot of blood broth, the broth that contained the blood, the broth, the angel of Yahweh did not consume it, but he had Gideon pour it out into the earth. And that's the current covenant of Noah. I've been trying to teach you all this. I hope you all are listening, but it doesn't seem like you guys are listening. They shall observe it throughout their generations, the Israelites, so that they may continue supplicating on your behalf. Okay? The Israelites are supposed to supplicate with blood before the altar every day, and at the time of the morning and evening, they shall seek forgiveness on your behalf perpetually before Yahweh, that they may keep it and not be rooted out. That's why the Israelites got rooted out. They ate with the blood. This is what the whole purpose of the morning and the evening sacrifice of the priests are supposed to do, is to supplicate on the behalf of mankind according to the covenant of Noah. And your rabbis will not tell you that. They have no idea what the reason of the morning and evening sacrifice is for. The Israelites are supposed to be a priestly nation of rulers and priests. Rulers because of the law of Allahim, and priests because they're supplicating on behalf of Noah's sons for all of the earth. This is why in the millennial temple of Ezekiel, everyone's going to come with their sacrifice. All the men, we're going to bring sacrifices to the temple and eat boiled flesh at the temple according to the covenant of Noah. That's really how it's going to go down. You're not going to be eating steaks at the temple. There's no roasted flesh. There's burnt fire offerings, but all flesh that's eaten at the temple, they're going to come to the temple to eat from all the nations, and they're going to eat boiled flesh. And he gave to Noah and his sons a sign that there should not again be a flood on the earth. And he set his boat in the cloud for a sign of the eternal covenant, the everlasting covenant, eternal covenant, that there should not be a flood on the earth to destroy all the days of the earth. Now we know, it appears that Yahweh is going to judge the earth with fire because they've broken this covenant. He can't flood them again, but he's going to judge them with fire. So we'll see how that goes. But the reason why he's going to judge the earth is because the earth is in violation of this covenant. Trying to help the earth out, but even the believers in Yahweh aren't really even listening. It's a shame, but that's just what it is. For this reason, it is ordained and written on the heavenly tablets that they should celebrate the Feast of Weeks in this month, the third month right here, third month, once a year, to renew the covenant every year. What covenant are the Israelites renewing in the Feast of Weeks? They're renewing the covenant at Sinai to not eat any blood. That was hidden in the Torah, hidden in the book of Acts, And it's here in the book of Jubilees. It just hadn't been understood until Yahweh gave me this understanding 5 years ago. Hallelujah. But this is the reason why the Israelites got rooted out. They got rooted out right here out of the land. Okay, because they were not doing this. The morning and the evening sacrifice right here. People want to talk about Daniel's prophecy about the morning and the evening sacrifice, 2,300 morning and evenings. Don't even know what the sacrifices are for. It's to remember and supplicate every day, every morning and evening, before the altar every day, according to the covenant, according to this law. What law? The command that the children of Israel to not eat any blood. Why? Because the Israelites are supposed to be a priestly nation and share this information and understanding and be a blessing to the earth. The Jews are not the Israelites. The Jews are foreigners. They're aliens who have, most of them, probably 90% of them are aliens who have subverted and stole the identity of the Israelites. But they don't even understand what the morning and evening sacrifice is about, because they all eat with the blood. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've been there over 6 years ago. I was there. Okay, so that's what today's about for everybody in America. You're supposed to abide according to the covenant of Noah. I wish I could have got this video out yesterday, but long day. Had to get ready for my family for the Sabbath and had to get ready for that. So I hope that you guys enter into this covenant today, even though some people have already defiled this day by eating defiled flesh, by eating with the blood. Watch my video playlist on this. And I'm going to keep going here, but I'm going to pause this video right now because my thing going out. Okay, please. All right, so the Israelites are supposed to renew the covenant every year. And this whole festival was celebrated in heaven from the day of creation till the days of Noah, 26 Jubilees and 5 weeks of years. And Noah and his sons observed it for 7 Jubilees and 1 week of years, till the day of Noah's death. And from the day of Noah's death, his sons did away with it until the days of Abraham, and they eat blood. So Abraham stopped it, okay? But Abraham observed it. How did Abraham observe it? Because Abraham got the writings from his father Terah, who's the descendant of Shem. All right, right south of Karajadog in Urkesh. Ur of the Chaldees is Urkesh, Syria. Right south of Mardin, Turkey. But Abraham observed it. What did Abraham observe? He observed the covenant of Noah, of not eating. So Noah was righteous. He didn't eat the blood. Abraham observed it. He didn't eat with the blood. Isaac and Jacob and his children observed it up to thy days. Whose days? This is the angel speaking with Moses. And in the days of the children of Israel forgot it, until ye celebrated it anew on this mountain. So while the Israelites were in Egypt under slavery and bondage, they lost the understanding of it, and it was reobserved again anew at this mountain, Mount Sinai. And do thou command the children of Israel to observe this festival in all their generations, for a commandment unto them. 1 day in the year in this month they shall celebrate the festival. What festival? The festival of covenants, the covenant of Noah that they had the blood sprinkled of them on. For it is the feast of weeks, and the feast of the first fruits, which we know is the first fruits of wheat harvest. This feast is twofold and of a double nature, according to what is written and engraven concerning it, to celebrate it. All right, so it's the Feast of Weeks and the Feast of the First Fruits. It's the Feast of the Covenants. For I have written in the book of the first law, in that which I have written for thee, that thou shouldest celebrate it in its season, one day in the year. And I explained it to thee, its sacrifices, that the children of Israel should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generations in this month, one day in every year. And on the new month, not new moon, of the first month, and on the new month of the fourth month, and on the new month of the seventh month, and on the new month of the 10th month are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons and the 4 divisions of the years. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever. So these are the days of remembrance of Noah. These are all about the festival of Noah, to remember Noah, to remember the flood incident. On the first day, the head of the month of the first, 4th, 7th, and 10th months. Okay? And Noah ordained them these remembrance days, these days of the seasons, for himself as feasts for generations forever, so that they could have become thereby a memorial to him. Okay, so the earth is supposed to be on this calendar, and the earth is supposed to be celebrating these festivals on the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th months. And on the new month of the first month, he was bidden to make for himself an ark. And on that day, the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth. That was on top of Karajadog, when on the first day, the new month, the first day of the first month. And on the first day, Rosh Hodesh of the 4th month, of the mouths of the depths of the abyss beneath were closed. That's why there's a remembrance day of that event happening when the flood happened. And on the new month of the 7th month, all the mouths of the abyss of the earth were opened, and the waters began to descend into them. It began to drain back into the mouths of the earth on the first day of the 7th month. And on the first day, on the new month, Rosh Hodesh of the 10th month, the tops of the mountain were seen, and Noah was glad. And on this account he ordained them for himself as feasts for a memorial forever, and thus they are ordained. So, there's already a new month festival, but during that new month festival, you're supposed to remember the festival of Noah on that new month. And we know the first day, the new month, the Rosh Hodesh of the 7th month, the first day of the 7th month, is the feast of Yom Teruah. It's the feast of shouting, or what it's called, Feast of Trumpets, but Feast of Shouting, Yom Teruah. So that has like a threefold nature for that. It's the first day of the 7th month, Rosh Hodesh 7. It's Yom Teruah, and it's also the festival of Noah. And they placed them on the heavenly tablets. Each had 13 weeks from one to another past their memorial. So there's 13 weeks right here in between. Now we're into the calendar chapter. I told you at the beginning of this video that Jubilees chapter 6 is about the covenant of Noah, and it's also about the calendar. It's going to define the calendar right here. So they placed them on the heavenly tablets. Each had 13 weeks from one to another past their memorial. So from the from the Rosh Hodesh of the first month to the Rosh Hodesh of the 4th month, there are 13 weeks. From the Rosh Hodesh of the 4th month to Rosh Hodesh of the 7th month, there are 13 weeks. From Rosh Hodesh of the 7th month to Rosh Hodesh of the 10th month, there's 13 weeks. From Rosh Hodesh of the 10th month to Rosh Hodesh of the first month Again, there are 13 weeks. From the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and the third to the fourth of his festivals, that's how there are. And all the days of the commandment will be 52 weeks of days. 52, 2 and 50, 52 weeks of days. And these will make the entire year complete. Thus it is engraven and ordained on the heavenly tablets. And there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year or from year to year. Okay, there's no, this is the calendar. The calendar is not lunar. You are on a Babylonian lunar calendar. The lunar solar calendar is Babylonian. I've explained that for years now. And command thou that the children of Israel, that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days. And these will constitute a complete year. And they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feasts. The lunar calendar is 354 days. The solar calendar is 364 days. The solar cycle is 365.242 days. A solar year is different than a solar cycle. Yahweh's calendar is a solar calendar. It's a solar year, but it is not a complete solar cycle. That 1.25 day is the day of the spring equinox. It's a day out of time. That's why all the pagan witches, in their pagan witch, they have this tradition of a day being out of time, but they don't understand that the day out of time is the spring equinox because they're pagans. This calendar was corrupted by the Zoroastrians. That's where they have the day Norwuz and the Zoroastrian religion. Okay? The Zoroastrian religion was very close in proximity to where the covenant of Noah was, Noah's mountain was. That's why some of those teachings got perverted and went into that religion. But the calendar year is 364 days, and it's complete, and nothing will be disturbed from its time or its days or its feasts. Everything will fall out in them according to their testimony. Everything fits. It fits perfectly like this, okay? But if they do neglect and they do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and their years will be dislodged from this order. And they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances, what the Israelites are supposed to be doing. And all the children of Israel will forget and will not find. All the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years. And they will forget the new months, not the new moon festival. Okay? There's no such thing as a new moon festival. This is a bad translation based on a false supposition. It's new month festival. And they will forget the new months and seasons and Sabbaths. What? That's why the days aren't Gregorian. I've been trying to tell you people, but people don't want to hear it. They want to do the 364-day calendar using the Gregorian days. It doesn't work like that. And they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. The order of the years is because the calendar, the first day of the first month begins on the fourth day of the week. So they'll go wrong as all of their orders of the years. The years aren't going to be in order. This is the angel speaking with Moses on Mount Sinai. For I know, the angel of Yahweh speaking with Moses on Mount Sinai. For I know, And from henceforth will I declare it unto thee, to Moses, and it is not of my own devising, for the book lies written before me, and on the heavenly tablets the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feasts of the covenant of Noah. So you can't be in the 364-day calendar unless you have the covenant of Noah. Lest they forget the feasts of the covenant, which is covenant of Noah, and walk according to the feasts of the Gentiles, after their error and after their ignorance. All into the Babylonian lunar calendar. The lunar Sabbath calendar is the Babylonian calendar. The modern Hillel calendar, it's also a type of that calendar. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon, how it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon. So right here it's being told that there will be people who will take the lunar calendar. For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day, the day of testimony. Now, the Sabbath was a sign. A sign is a testimony. Okay? That's what they have done. They have their Gregorian Saturday. Everybody on the Jewish Gregorian Saturday Sabbath, it's an abominable day. Okay? You're on the Gregorian day, Saturn's day, which used to be the Sunday, the seventh day of the, until it was all changed. The day of testimony. They're going to make the abominable day the day of testimony. Okay, the Sabbath is calibrated by the spring equinox every year, when the calendar is recalibrated every year. The days of the week reset according to the spring equinox every year. And they're going to make an unclean day a feast day. Well, the Sabbath is a feast day. It's one of the feasts of Yahweh. And that's what happens. Every 7 years, maybe once or twice every 7 years, depending. Okay, like this year in the Americas, Saturday is the Sabbath day in the Americas. Sunday here in the rest of the world is the Sabbath day. Last year, here in the Eastern Mediterranean, our Sabbath day was on Friday, the Gregorian Friday. Next year, it's going to be on the Gregorian Monday. And they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, which is what they've done, and the unclean day with the holy, for they will go wrong as to the months, and Sabbaths, and feasts, and Jubilees. They will go wrong. The ones who make observations of the moon will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths. How can you go wrong as to the Sabbath days? Because you're using Gregorian days of the week. You have to use solar calibrated Sabbath days. That's how you go wrong. So there's a lot of people out there that are all claiming they're on the 364-day calendar, but they use the Gregorian days of the week. Oh my goodness. They're gatekeepers, guys. I've been calling them out for years. They're gatekeepers. They're trying to keep you away and keep the rest of the earth away from the true calendar. They're wrong to the feast days. They're not even celebrating Shavuot on the correct day or any other feasts of Yahweh on the correct day. And the Jubilee year has now been restored. Hallelujah. If you haven't watched my recent video, it only has 10,000 views, but we are coming up in the 50th year, agricultural year. We're currently in the 50th year right now of the ecclesiastical year cycle, but the civil year, Jubilee, is coming up this 7th month for 2024. For this reason, I command and testify to thee, to Moses, that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death, thy children will disturb them, after the death of Moses, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason, they will go wrong as to the new months and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals. They're going to go wrong because they screwed up the calendar because they're now monitoring the moon calendar. And here you go to close out this chapter. And after Moses, they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. There's two types of blood. You have the blood that pumps through your blood vessels and blood veins, okay? Your vascular system, and that blood carries something called hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is what the oxygen attaches to. And those blood cells carry the hemoglobin. The hemoglobin stores the oxygen and delivers it to your muscles and your organs. And your muscles have something in it called myoglobin. So when you see flesh at the meat store that's been packaged, prepackaged raw flesh, you see that watery substance that's in it that's called myoglobin. And myoglobin is extremely carcinogenic when it has been fried and when it has been baked. Also, the blood as well. Cooked blood is also carcinogenic and it has to be boiled out. So when they say they'll eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh, it's talking about eating the blood scum that's still in the flesh that hasn't been boiled out and sieved out with water. You cannot have the 364-day calendar unless you have the covenant of Noah. Go ask your 364-day calendar teacher if they're in the covenant of Noah. They won't even have most of them won't even have a clue because they're all blind and deaf. So, the earth is on notice for not eating according to the covenant of Noah. I have an entire playlist on it. Shalom and salam alaikum upon my brothers and sisters who are abiding by the covenant of Noah, who have the testimony of Master Yeshua the Messiah, and who guard the commandments.